全球的气候都变了，我想大多数的人都已经很难否认这件事情。但是你愿意行动吗？你的国家愿意行动吗？你会把它当成这个国家最重要的政治议题吗？德国在这次的大选里头，似乎整个气候的问题变成主轴；挪威大选里头，气候问题变成了主轴。我们刚刚前面谈到，影响全球经济的第一个因素是疫情，第二个因素我们还没有提的，就是全球暖化。全球暖化造成今年好几个农业出口国不是旱灾就是洪灾，它会加速粮食的短缺以及通膨跟物价上涨的问题。全球暖化呢，现在是不可逆转。我们都知道各国都在说废话，都在说空话，只有少数的国家在采取行动，而这些国家在全球的碳排放里头不是主要的国家。在联合国即将年底于英国苏格兰所举行的联合国气候大会之前，各国开始提出它的排碳承诺，而美国的气候大使 Kerry 也提出了警告。年轻一代的人其实更应该重视全球暖化的议题。现在全球大概在欧洲，年轻一代跟过去不一样，他们重点不是极左就是极右，这是过去年轻一代的事情。现在是老人在极左跟极右，年轻一代最重视的议题都是气候变迁。
The UN issues its alarming new climate report, calling it a, quote, code red for humanity, warning the Earth is warming much faster than they thought.
Painting a dire picture of what the future may look like.
Unprecedented events are now becoming common, and scientists all point to one thing.
Unequivocally, humans are causing climate change, and some of our most extreme weather events have a link to that change.
这绝对不是儿戏。最新一期《Nature》期刊再次一众话大声疾呼：气候变迁已让2020后出生的世代，相较于半世纪前，面临多达7倍的极端气候事件，尤其是热浪。
Deaths from that historic heat wave in the Pacific Northwest.
Here on the street, this is measuring at 157 degrees. It feels like a furnace.
Drying up lakes and reservoirs that millions rely on for their water supply.
This time a year ago, this dock would have been about 30 feet underwater. It's now high and dry.
Madagascar, more than 1 million people facing starvation there.
It is all because they are in a prolonged drought. When you bake the soil, when you bake the foliage, you are creating the perfect setup for a horrible fire season.
ABC 新闻用极端的1年来形容我们当下的处境。
The people who live in this community had to run for their lives as the flames came through and burned their homes and their cars. There are nearly 50 burning in 6 western states.
Thousands of people forced to evacuate and firefighters surrounded by flames as they wrestle with the Dixie Fire, destroying the entire town of Greenville.
July was the hottest month ever recorded.
The heat also fueling summer storms.
Elsa roaring ashore along the Gulf Coast.
Twister after twister zeroing in on Iowa.
Oh, look at that, look.
Dangerous flash flood conditions in Nevada and Arizona.
Oh my God, you guys!
In parts of western Germany, days of heavy rain wiping away entire communities.
There's so many people dead.
Flash floods in China killing at least 25 and displacing hundreds of thousands.
Forecasters warning more rain is on the way.
根据 Nature 期刊援引的最新报告，科学家正透过全球变暖的速度及国家政策未能及时因应碳排污染进行必要削减后，做出了推估，认为我们的下一代将经历2倍的飓风和野火，3倍的洪灾及4倍的农作物欠收，5倍的干旱。最可怕的是热浪将如影随形，至少36倍之多。
Last year, more than 30 million people were displaced by climate-related disasters. 90% of refugees come from countries that are among the most vulnerable and least able to adapt to the effects of climate change. No region is immune. Wildfires, flooding, droughts, and other extreme weather events are affecting every continent.
联合国76届大会在闭幕前，针对气候安全议题举行了高级别的公开辩论。 秘书长古特雷斯特别点名 G20 工业国家必须带头采取行动，因为新冠疫情正在削弱各国应对气候灾害的能力，并加重收容难民国家的预算挑战。更重要的是，气候变迁严重威胁低洼地区及岛国的生存空间。每一场灾难事件都在将他们推向生死边缘。
We simply have no higher ground to see.
1.5 degrees Celsius 2 degrees Celsius के तफात की मारोगे हुक्म औमा नौमा देमेधूरी फराग.
Large polluters have simply not kept their word, and mistrust now pervades the air. That, Mr. President, is failure. It is also deception.
联合国官员警告，最快本世纪中，全球海平面就会上升15到30公分，因为格陵兰升温速度已经远远高出全球其他地方。北极作为地球气候系统的发动引擎，近期格陵兰顶峰的10度降雨，更引发科学家担心，2030年前人类恐将面临更频繁的水患。不过，真正迫在眉睫的危机还是干旱。联合国减灾署日前已直指，干旱正成为人类必须因应的下一波大流行危机，且没有疫苗可以抵御。
We're seeing that when there is drought, the droughts are more intense because there's more of an evaporative demand. So the soil is drying out faster given the same amount of rainfall change.
美国气候特使凯瑞及欧盟委员会执行副主席蒂莫曼日前接受 PBS 访问时坦诚，在防止地球升温到灾难性不可逆的路上，确实遇到了阻碍。但美欧企业都正在以闪电般的速度朝向正确方向前进。任何政府部门都不可能扭转企业想要大力投资的领域。唯一的问题是脚步能否再快一点。
We can no longer let the people in power decide what is politically possible or not. We can no longer let the people in power decide what hope is. Hope is not passive. Hope is not blah, blah, blah. Hope is telling the truth. Hope is taking action. And hope always comes from the people.
就在这个星期，包括瑞典环保少女桑伯格等来自190国400名青年气候行动家齐聚意大利米兰，力促各国敲定未来抗暖化的行动方案。因为联大会议召开之际，全球能源价格飙涨，正引发外界对气候激进改革可能反弹的担忧。虽然在一场 COP26 的会前会上，美洲2大排碳国的环保官员都已拉大对新能源及相关资金的承诺，但包括印度等主要污染国仍连短期方案都没有。
My friends, the adolescence of humanity is coming to an end and must come to an end. We're approaching that critical turning point in less than 2 months, in just over 40 days, when we must show that we are capable of learning and maturing and finally taking responsibility for the destruction we are inflicting not just upon our planet, but upon ourselves. It's time for humanity to grow up.
根据《新科学人》杂志的最新数据，人类只要能将地球升温幅度限制在摄氏1.5度 C， 就可以挽救数十亿人免于遭受一次甚至多次热带风暴的袭击。英国《卫报》还特别点出，美国东北部沿海地区近期正成为北半球变暖最快的区域。这是何以稍早创纪录的降雨能引发洪灾，在纽约酿成数十人死亡。面对气候危机，我们已没有时间等待。血淋淋的数字正迫使人们行动加快。